Why don't we start this off with a little introduction about yourself?
My real name's Marcy. My nickname is Mars.
We're talking food. What does it mean to you?
Food is one way I express my love. I love to cook for others. It's more joyful for me to cook for people rather than just myself. I love to cook for myself, but feeding others is love. I think that's a way of showing love. I want to nourish people mentally and physically because I think we have so much potential as a society, as humanity. I neglected myself for so long that I don't want other people to do that to themselves, because if we nourish ourselves, we could all nourish each other. And that is something that I've had to learn over and over and over again. You can't give from an empty vessel.
You're on this journey right now. What led you to it?
I had a sister who was 4 years older than me, but she passed away when she was 17, and so I was roughly about 13, 14 years old. It was scary just not knowing if she's okay or gonna live. You just go in survival mode. Cancer is one of those things where you have time to kind of accept what's going to happen. You know, my grandma and grandpa had cancer as well, so this is something I've experienced a lot. But even with all that preparation, it still hurts. It's still painful. It still feels unreal, you know, and it just feels like unfair. I'm really happy that, you know, she's not suffering anymore. My sister's actually the main reason why I moved out to LA, because that was always one of her dreams. She wanted me to be happy and be myself. Really nothing more than that. She was just a fun, happy, loving person and just a joy to be around, you know. I feel like she never wanted anything for anybody that they didn't want for themselves, you know. Just to live your life, be happy, and do good in the world, you know. But her thought always reminds me just to let go, live a little, and not take everything so seriously. I take everything too serious.
I love the outlook you're taking on this, and sometimes we just have to smile and enjoy life and not take life too seriously. How would you say what happened with your sister has changed you or impacted you today?
I think especially seeing so many people in my life go through cancer and various health issues, from diabetes to just high blood pressure, has really impacted me to care about health and nutrition and just being physical, as well as go into further studying it. It has always been really inspiring to me that we have that power, you know, to fuel our bodies, and we really are what we eat. Although I do think it is extremely important to recognize, no matter what type of lifestyle, how you eat or how you exercise, that anything could happen. You could be the healthiest person and still get cancer or have a stroke or have an aneurysm. I've been able to reach out to people and create my own sort of community around health and wellness and help in a different sort of way. I originally went to school or to college for nutrition and dietetics. And so I was en route to become a registered dietitian. I decided against it. There's so much professionalism within being a dietitian, and it's such a small field. It made me feel like I had to fit into their mold, kind of, and I didn't like that. And it's not what I want to be, and that's probably my favorite thing about being on OnlyFans and just being able to create my own content, is I get to be authentically myself.
All right, fair enough. Well, then what is something you'd say you like to practice?
I really push for mindfulness in general, specifically when it comes to eating and nutrition. I feel like a lot of the times with diet culture and that sort of thing, people will restrict themselves or feel like they have to fit this certain perfect little box. I'm vegan, I'm vegetarian, I'm whatever. You don't have to fit a box. You have to find something that works for you and listen to your body. Knowing what works for me won't work for everybody else is self-awareness.
So when talking about community and themes, what community theme is important to you?
Okay, so the community theme or philosophy that I'm trying to build around myself would be just inclusion, openness, open-mindedness, being able to discuss different ideas. You know, I don't, especially when it comes to food, I don't want vegans on here bashing people who eat meat and vice versa. We're all different. We should accept that. It's easier. That's what makes us all great, is that we do have differences. Wouldn't it be fun if we were all the same? I want to make my customers feel good. I want to make them feel heard, and I want to make them comfortable. There's no shame with any sort of disease, body type, or any other issue they may be coming to me with. I don't want them to feel weird, or I really just make it a point to listen and ask them a lot of questions so I could do my best to give them the most accurate information.
All right, so 50-50. Are you more science-based or spiritual-based?
I mean, I definitely think it's more science-based. It's more science-based for sure. But in general, I'm a spiritual person. I talk about meditation, I talk about yoga, and again, being mindful, in touch with yourself, and really listening to your body instead of, like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm gonna drink this coffee and then not eat for 5 hours, and then I'm like, why do I feel like shit? And I do want to be there for my audience to help them go through their shit, basically. Like, I don't want people to feel alone or lonely, because I felt that way for too long. I've gone through depression and anxiety. I'm still going through it. And, you know, if I can push through, I feel like anybody can, and I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're alone or don't have somebody to talk to.
So when we talk independence and we talk financials, throw the two of them together, financial independence, what does it mean to you?
Financial independence is definitely a no one will ever fuck with me again thing. Just not needing financial help is, like, to me, that is true freedom. In America especially, so many people are in debt. School debt is greater than credit card debt right now. That is insane to me. The thing about debt is, when you're in debt, you are never free. You owe somebody. You don't have true freedom, and, like, that is where I feel freedom is more of an illusion in America. When you're in, like, being in debt is normal. People are 100K in debt for going to medical school. You know, it's so normal to be in debt, and I don't like that. I don't want to feel like I owe somebody. I want to be in charge of my life and what I have and that sort of thing. And from the research I've done, just financial freedom really, I think, is the most empowering thing. Anything, whether it's the government, the banks, my dad, potential future husband, whatever. Because for so long, I saw my dad, you know, not have my stepmom work. And that was very traditional, and it was just not what I ever wanted. I don't think there's one right or wrong answer. Like, I am a true feminist, which I do think feminism is just like humanism. Like, I think man, woman, everything in between, whatever your orientation is, you should be able to do whatever you want. You know, if a man wants to be a stay-at-home dad, more power to him. Like, whatever works for you and your situation and your family, because even the nuclear family, I believe, is changing now.
What can your subscribers expect to see from you?
I'm working on creating segments right now about baking, different, like, nutrients. I try to have a variety of free posts and unlockable posts, and even my educational ones I try to keep at a lower price point so people can have access to them. And I'll even make sure to, like, reiterate the same information in my written post versus the video. I don't want the subscriber just to be interested in me. I want them to be able to take that back to themselves and use that to either self-reflect or grow, or maybe just do something or think something different than they have before, you know, just to kind of challenge them.
All right, so with that being said, then I have to ask, what would you say your voice looks like on your page?
My voice. Okay, on my page, like, my voice is, at the end of the day, to be true to yourself, to be mindful, not only of how you're eating, but how you're living, how your interactions, the way you react even makes you feel. Being aware of your emotions, because I feel like so many people, we are just an autopilot. We go to our 9 to 5, we come home, cook dinner, go to bed, do it again, pay the bills, maybe go out on the weekends. What I'm trying to do is just to get people to get out of that autopilot, to be aware, to make that self-reflection. Because that little thing, that little bit, can make a big impact and change in their lives, even if it's just a spark. That's what I'm trying to show through my brand, through my own example, through talking about meditation, you know, mental, physical, all of that comes together, and at the end of the day starts with you, yourself.